SFL Nation, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roland Wiseman Stadium here in the Circle City, where tonight the Ramblers host the Oklahoma City Renegades. OKC still trying to find their first win of the season, and with only 3 games to go for them, they are as hungry as ever to avoid the dreaded zero donut zilch in the win column. Meanwhile, Indy, right over here, still hanging on to a thread and fighting to keep their playoff hopes alive. For the Ramblers, winning all their games from here on out is the start of that. I am Mark Lopez, and I will be your play-by-play announcer tonight. With me is the ever-incredible Cameron Irvine to provide only the most top-notch analysis for this game. Cam, Indy's playoff hopes are very narrow, but they're up against a team who, for most accounts, have nothing left to lose. And so, I ask you this, Cam, what kind of game are you expecting tonight?
It'll be interesting, Mark. Thanks for welcoming me. And, tonight I expect that Oklahoma City continues to try to fine-tune their game. They have been in their last 2 contests in the first half, but let it slip away. I think Indianapolis is looking for a feel-good win today. We'll see if they can hold them off.
They have lost by over 20 points in almost every single game except for week 1. But tonight, maybe for them, is one of their better chances at a win here. We'll see if they can do that on the road against Indy. Andrew Gibson and Justin Rezard are on stats, and thanks to his superpowers, Cam's also producing this game. Wouldn't you know? And today, overcast and crisp, 46 degrees here in Indy. We are ready to go here with OKC's offense out on the field first as they line up with single back, 2 tight ends. They're going to start with the pass here. Pass down the middle is complete. We'll introduce you to the Oklahoma City offense. That was Colin Pierce with a nice first throw. Halfbacks are Jacob Brewer and Frank Udon. Fullback is Tiberius Bovine. Christian Bachigalopi and Dallas Sanders are the wide receivers. They also got Jonathan Kilgore and Stephen McMichaels on tight ends. 1st and 10 as OKC finds another set of first downs, lining up in a very similar formation here. Colin Pierce seeing something on the line, making a change here. Shifting Dallas Sanders from the right of your screen to the left. Or I guess from the right of their line to the left. Looking to pass again. Deep step back. Colin Pierce having to run, scrambling here. He's got a first and almost picks up 9 yards on the scramble. And OKC, Cam, you talked about their first half being good. How about their first quarter looking really good?
Yeah, Colin Pierce actually leads the team in yards per carry. He's averaging close to 4 on 5 carries for 19 yards. And when he wants to, he can scramble pretty good. And his first pass was great, too, to McMichaels.
Well, the 9-yard pickup, his average is now 9.0. He's going to toss it out there. And to your point about yards per average, the toss goes for 0 yards. First official run game for OKC goes nowhere.
Yeah, they really struggled in the rushing attack this season, Mark, and they found a little bit more success in the passing game, but that makes these short yardage situations really tough for them to pick up, and then drives stall out, and then they put the defense on the field, and teams start to smell blood in the water.
Yeah, I've liked this ace formation quite a lot. They will toss to the left side. This one's good. And after a spin move, Jacob Brewer picks up a first down after a 4 or 5 yard pickup.
Yeah, they needed that one. Jacob Brewer has struggled this season as they've tried to, get him involved. He was a late signing for this team in the backfield to just try to give him some depth. So that's got to feel really good picking up that first down.
Good for the late season pickup. Pierce rolling to his left, will throw, finds a man. That's complete for another first down. And OKC, first drive of the game, looks like they're rolling. That's a completion to Bovine.
Yeah, it's one of those, first 15 plays out of the script for Oklahoma City, and it's obvious that the Renegades, when they're on script, can compete with anybody in the league despite their deficiencies. You can tell they've got all their best weapons in the places that they want them. It's when the game starts to evolve and they need to keep up with their competition that they have struggled.
Here's another pass by Colin Pierce, and that was in the hands of his receiver, looks like, as Jonathan Kilgore covered by 2 defenders by Indy. Let's actually introduce you to the Indy defenders. Thomas Matthews, Seth Harrison, Robert Cherry, and Jack Big Boss are the defensive linemen. On the linebacker crew, they got Frodo Laggins, Kenneth Gaston Jr., Casper Haddock, and Matthias Citrion. Cornerbacks are Adam Nold, Jermaine Menafield, King Rashid, and Rick Evans, and their safeties are Ramnar Sudi and King Jamal. 2nd and 10 for Colin Pierce and company. He's going to pass again. Pressure's coming, so I have to swing that out real quick, and that goes nowhere. Quick throw is good for Colin Pierce, but unable to generate yards.
Yeah, I like the play call, Mark. They're trying to make 3rd down a little bit more manageable, but Indianapolis's defense is pretty tough. They only gave up 23 points to your Vancouver Legion last week, and they made that a ball game.
They did that against Vancouver on the road as well, and they show again here in 3rd and long, preventing that pass. They gave us trouble on 3rd down as well, Cam. And first start here for Indy. They hold strong. It's going to be a punt for OKC.
Kenneth Gaston Jr. with that deflection. He's got 62 tackles, 14 tackles for loss, and that was his 5th pass deflection of the season. The drive stalls out.
So this punt's going to go to Indy's. Indy's offense going to come out on the field here for the first time. We're going to have a first look at them as we introduce you to the Indianapolis Ramblers offense. Quarterback Ethan Flowers, along with Chris Grant Jr., Andrew Gibson, and Joel Harleman are the running backs. Rob Hunt, Reggio De Niro, and Bobby Tarantino, the wide receivers. Tight ends, they got 3 on the list. Goradil Khan, Jimmy Wint, and Nadir Falachti. Anyway, first play for Indy as a run to the outside goes for about a pickup of 2 yards, and OKC looking to stop that run early.
Yeah, Oklahoma City's defense took a blow this week. Brady Clark named inactive. They are already a thin unit defensively. We'll see if Indianapolis tries to attack them maybe deeper more than they might usually throw it. They're sticking with the run so far.
Oh, they're sticking to the run. I thought I was sticking it to the OKC defense. That was Andrew Gibson finding the hole on the outside, an outside zone run, picks up plenty of yards as OKC find their defenders playing man. Wow, what a run.
Gibson in our stat truck today, along with Justin Reside, and picking up that nice run. So far this season, Gibson's long is 29 yards. He almost got it there, or he got about half of it, but a nice run.
Another nice run for the Indy offense. This time it's Chris Grant Jr. Picking up most of the yardage and the carries for Indy in the season, but picking up 5 here. Another solid run by Indy.
It's always interesting to see, when after Louisiana was no more, it's always interesting to see how that roster splits out. And Chris Grant Jr. was on Louisiana, who's now Oklahoma City last season, but decided to take his talents to Indy.
He's facing his former team here. Gibson as well, another, out-of-team pickup by Indy, formerly of Canton, now Sin City, bringing his talents here. So hoping that the run game will bolster them. So far, Cam, tonight I think the run game has been doing good. 3rd and 2 here, lining up in their joker set. As we see motion by the fullback, might be a run to the outside. It is handoff, outside zone run, but what a tackle by OKC on the outside. Let me get that name. That was number 55 with the tackle, Sabo Kanan, with a 3rd down stop.
Sabo with 60 tackles this season, 50 for a loss and a couple of sacks, has been a bright spot for this Renegades defense. And, Indy taking a run-first approach against Oklahoma City so far today, and the Renegades stand tall on the opening drive.
Look at this. In special teams, Indy putting a spark. I think this is just that is just at the goal line. They'll say it's at the 1 yard line, and OKC gonna have to drive and 99 yards. What are the odds that you think they're gonna come out with a score here, Ken?
Yeah, the Renegades are thinking, look, man, we're last in the league in scoring. You don't really have to put us at the 1 yard line. You're killing us. What a great punt. Look at
that was
beautiful
Mylan Sales on the punt. That's right. See here, the run to the outside. Good for a broken tackle in the spin move. And, I mean, you're right. Their offense has bottom of the league as far as scoring goes. They're bottom of the league as far as the opposite end of the spectrum as well on defense. So, got to do anything on offense to get out of this hole they're in.
But good news, their run game is off to a good start today.
Yeah, between all the running backs and the quarterback. Comes a blitz on the right side, and oh no, a fumble! Thankfully picked up an OKC Renegade teammate. And Jacob Brewer lets go of the ball here. We'll see what happens here in the replay. Ooh, right there. Couldn't catch the number. Did you see who forced the fumble there, Cam?
Oh, I didn't. I was paying attention to that legit offensive lineman who just, I mean, found an egg falling out of the Easter basket there. I mean, what a great heads-up play to save his teammate, keep the drive alive. Oklahoma City's been marred by turnovers, especially deep in their own territory, that's putting their defense in bad situations. So really fortunate to come away with that there.
You're surprisingly not the bottom of the league as far as turnovers go, but plays like this, they got the explosive plays in the playbook as a nice completion by Colin Pierce. That's to his to his tight end Stephen McMichaels, formerly of Vancouver. So I'm very familiar with that talent. Nice catch right there.
McMichaels has been one of their most important pickups of this offseason. 44 catches, 520 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he's really been a very reliable target for Oklahoma City, and really in all of his career in the SFL, yes, he's put together a fine career.
Absolutely. OKC running once again, looking solid, 6 yards down the middle, this time to their, not the fullback, it's still one of the running backs is Frank Udon this time, picking up his third carry, I believe, for tonight.
Let's go. Let's go back to McMichaels here for just a sec, because he actually just got a new 4K23 career high in receiving yards for a season with that last catch. He's a little bit over 540 now, besting that 536 that he had in Vancouver in season 21. So congrats to
look at that.
McMichaels on a breakout campaign.
Yeah, and all love to, everyone who comes from our team, plays for our team. All love to everyone out there. McMichael's one of them for sure. And finding success, it's always nice to see former teammates finding success elsewhere. 3rd and 3 here, pass by Colin Pierce, looking for nice catch on the outside, and not McMichaels, but the other tight end, Jonathan Kilgore. He gets a few catches in the season, Cam, but when he does, he makes it sure that it's a good catch.
Kilgore was in the chat before the game started, Mark, and was joking that there was a lightning delay. Well, lightning just struck against that Indianapolis defense. I mean, right past the ear hole of cornerback Jermaine Menafield, who's always dangerous. And look at the Renegades twice across the 50-yard line. I think it's important to come away with points here, because I don't think Indy's going to be held down for too much longer.
Just out of the range of their kicker, but perhaps this penalty is going to push them within field goal range, Cam.
Yeah, Mark, I would say that's one of the easier pass interference penalty calls of the season. You can't really tackle the receiver while he's running around. That's just That's going to get called every time.
Before the pass even makes it to the receiver, definitely interference right there. So OKC picks up first down at about the 21-yard line. So 1st and 10, 1 minute and 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Things are looking good for OKC. So they're now on board. Potentially put the first points on the board. Oh, here comes the sack, but no. Oh, Pierce lets the ball go, and it's a touchdown through the sack. He makes it go with 6 for OKC.
Well. How about that? And thank you to Andrew Gibson in our stats truck saying that King Jamal was the one that forced that fumble. But on this play, it's King Rashid in coverage that cannot find Bachagalupi, who scores the touchdown. How about Oklahoma City here in the first quarter, getting their offense moving? And, Mark, it looks like they've simplified the offense. They're coming out in similar looks, but running a lot of variety in their offense, keeping Indianapolis on their toes. And don't look now, that was unofficially a 100-yard drive, but 7-play, 99-yard drive. That's about as good as you can do it.
Absolutely. So OKC coming into this game, averaging just a little over 200 yards per game, 219 average per game. They've managed almost half of that, over half of that in the first quarter of this game. So whatever coaches have been cooking for their offense here, I think they got some little magic sauce working against Indy tonight.
In the other game going on right now, Davidson Joseph has 2 picks for Carolina. They lead Atlanta 7-3. Are in scoring position with less than a minute to go, but it's been a very defensive battle over there. Those 2 teams fighting for who's going to win the East.
I heard there was a 4 turnover first quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Here, the game continues as Indy looks to answer back after the OKC 99-yard drive. They start with a 5-yard pickup. As we have a minute to go in the first quarter, let me introduce you to this OKC defense. Shin Yoneda, the defensive end, linebackers Jad McPherson, Sabo Keenan, and Aaron Gooden. Cornerbacks Pharaoh Reigns, Thomason Rahman, and Thomas Rahman Jr. And then their 2 safeties are Brady Clark and Josh Vasquez. Indy, 2nd and 5, going to be a run down the middle, handoff, goes for about 1 yard. And you're comparing this game to the OKC offense, and it looks, I guess, less dynamic here so far for Indy.
Yeah, and I like what Indy's done offensively this season. They got a rookie in Ethan Flowers. They're trying to limit his exposure. Coming into the game, they have 236 runs and 230 passes. So they've been extremely balanced. It's obvious that they're trying to get Flowers comfortable here tonight after kind of a rough outing against Vancouver. And I don't mind the strategy. This is a big 3rd and 4.
It'll be Flowers looking to pass here. Here comes pressure, but no protection is there. He's going to let the ball go and that. Oh, they called the pass interference right there.
I think that was on Thomas and Rahman, Mark, and you don't have to do that. I mean, and actually, it was it's on Pharaoh Reigns. Oh, we're not even going to get a replay. But you don't have to do that, Mark. I don't know. No. The percentage chance that pass was going to be complete was pretty low. It looked like tight coverage down the field. That's just an undisciplined play and a monster penalty of about 40 yards.
So both teams now given huge penalty yardages from pass interference, but this time OKC says you're not going to replicate the 99-yard drive. We're going to pick it off. We're going to take it back here. What a play, Cam.
Wow, and that is, I believe, wearing a slightly different number today. Thomas Rahman Jr., I think, number 41, making that interception for Oklahoma City. And, man, the Renegades, 14.5-point dogs today, they have shown up.
They have shown up for sure. This is way better than their 99-yard drive start. But, oh, goodness me. Great catch here by none other than Stephen McMichael's game. And if that was one broken tackle, he would have seen pay dirt and potentially the end zone.
Listen, this is the time of year, Mark, that you can never count out anybody in the SFL because these teams down at the bottom of the standings are desperate. They have nothing to lose. They're trying new things. And Oklahoma City trying to do what Charleston did yesterday and pull a big upset.
That's the first quarter for you, ladies and gentlemen. OKC up somehow against Indy underdogs, proving the doubters wrong here. 7-0. Indy scoreless after a turnover on a potentially promising drive. But OKC here, 1st and 10 now at their 43-yard line. They're looking good for this OKC offense. Starring Colin Pierce and Stephen McMichael for the most part already this game. 1st and 10 though goes incomplete as he was targeting the other tight end, Kilgore.
All right, so it's 2nd down and 10 for Oklahoma City, and I think, you want to do what they tried to do on that last drive. Maybe not necessarily a screen, but you're trying to make it to keep Colin Pierce out of 3rd and long, because that's not where this offense's bread and butter is.
Again, with the 2 tight end sets, here comes the pressure. Knocked out from under his knees. Colin Pierce goes down after the offensive line gives up a 6-yard sack.
Well, I guess it'll be 3rd and longer for Colin Pierce instead of 3rd and long. That's no good. And a really nice hit by Seth Harrison to make that play happen. That's Harrison's 4th sack of the season. He leads the team.
One of the fastest defensive ends in the league. Seth Harrison found his target quick. Here comes the pressure again. Colin Pierce somehow still up. Lets the ball go, but does not find anyone there. 3rd and long. Incomplete. They're going to punt the ball here.
Yeah, Indianapolis has done a pretty good job on Tiberius Bovine, keeping him locked down. And, look, I think if you were to count how many 3rd and 10 pluses Oklahoma City had converted this season, it'd probably be all on one hand. This is an offense that's very tight end, fullback focused. You know, we're talking a lot of heavy personnel, right, Mark? So I mean, third and 16 is a nightmare. Indianapolis gets a nice stop, and we'll see if their offense can get things moving, and if Ethan Flowers and the offense will open up a little bit.
And to Indy's credit, you know, they recognize that is the OKC's weakness in the offense is long passing. Not that they don't have the capacity to do so, but with the personnel, they prefer those medium passes and have their two tight ends run out for those catches. But instead, Indy right now bringing out their offense, trying to come back from that turnover in the previous drive here. Here comes Flowers, looking to pass on the first down. Looks down the middle, has time, will make his completion. What a completion! He's at the 20, at the 10, gonna be tackled at the 5-yard line. Not Chris Grant Jr., Rob Hunt, number 11, with the incredible play and run of the catch.
And there's Rahman Jr. chasing him down at the end of that play. But, you know, Indianapolis kind of playing a little bit of chess with Oklahoma City, seeing what they look like in the first quarter, and now here in the second quarter, you can see the Ramblers saying, okay, I guess we're going to stop playing with our food right now and let the rookie off the chain and let him go get it. And he certainly did on that first pass for 62 yards.
It's the longest play of the game today. I mean, you include the long play earlier by OKC, by Stephen McMichaels. Now Indy, we're now second and goal situation here. 7 yards to go here. Lining up in what looks like their heavy set split backs. One wide receiver, two tight ends. Looks like a run play. It will be down the middle, but no. They find nowhere to go. That is Chris Grant Jr. with only a 1-yard pickup.
Ethan Flowers on a third down and goal here. Going to have to be careful. You want to get at least some points out of this drive. And look, they've done a pretty nice job with him this season. 11 touchdowns, 12 picks. It's not flashy, but oh boy.
Oh, well, flashy is going to be from the other end as OKC flashes their defense with a nice sack to end this drive at the 10-yard line. So that explosive play earlier by Indy, I think OKC said, yeah, we gave up one play. We won't give up the touchdown.
And Oklahoma City's defense teaching me a lesson that my parents desperately tried to teach me my entire childhood. You got to know when to shut the hell up. And that time, Gooden with a great sack forces a field goal.
Hard not to shut up after a 60-plus yard catch, Cam, so I can't fault you for that. It's going to be up to your parents to fault you for that. But Indy makes the stop here. They bend, don't break. Indy puts up points on the board, so they do answer back here. 7-3, they keep it close. 7 minutes and a half to go, Cam. So, we still have 7 minutes to go. I doubt that we're going to see much change offensively here for OKC. But if any, what do you want to see from OKC?
Yeah, I think it's all about staying in front of the sticks, Mark. We're going to see that a lot today. You want to get 2 yards on first down. You want to get 4 yards on second down. You just can't be in the situations where you're in 2nd and 10, 3rd and long. That's where drives have stalled out for this team. But on the first couple of drives, they were successful because on first down, they were successful. We'll see what they do here.
And it's first down for them here. There'll be a pass. Here comes the pressure. Pass is going to be down the middle. That is tipped and incomplete. Almost many hands had a chance to pick that off, and that could have gone fast against OKC. You know what else is going away fast? Well, it's Rooms. Rooms are going fast for the 2025 SFL convention, kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th to 13th. If you want to go, you need to book your stay now. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at rate limit. A second down for OKC is an incompletion as Indy, number 21, I believe, OKC, Indy's number 21, King Jamal, on the coverage there.
Don't be like the commissioner. Your very own commissioner didn't have a room due to some miscommunication when he showed up at the last convention and had to bum a couple of nights off of people. And I barely got mine this year. Just booked a couple of weeks ago, so get on it.
Well, here's a sack here. If You don't be like your commissioner, but don't also be like the OKC offensive line allowing sacks left and right. That's the second one now against Colin Pierce tonight. It's really tough, Ken, trying to generate offense when not only are you behind the sticks, behind schedule, your negative yardage to start the third down, and in fact, it's the fourth down already.
Yeah, and this is back-to-back drives where they've gone incompletion. The last one was sack, incompletion, and then this one was incompletion, sack. Right, so they're not generating anything on early downs, and I think Indianapolis's defense is making adjustments too. They're starting to get wise to McMichaels and Bachagalupi, kind of hitting them deep on some seam routes and things, and so you're seeing a very talented defense start to find their footing here as well, and this is kind of the Oklahoma City experience. Good starts, okay in the middle, and then, a struggling finish as teams find their footing.
So OKC trying to turn their okay offense into something else to still have 7 points on the board. Indy trying to close the gap here. First down, toss to the outside, goes for 10 or more yards. Chris Grant Jr. picking up a first down and one go for his team.
Yeah, this guy finally gets to be the lead tailback. In Louisiana, it was kind of that two-back system, and he was kind of secondary to Dwayne Salmons. And ironically, Dwayne Salmons goes into Bailey O'Shaughnessy's spotlight in Denver, but Chris Grant Jr. finally has a chance to shine, and he has. He's had a very productive season. I think probably not the season he'd want in the end zone, just one touchdown. But Grant Jr. always a threatening opponent in the backfield.
Well, Indy as a team overall, scoring, rushing, and the touchdown has been quite, non-existent. 3 touchdowns in their last 9 games. 3 rushing touchdowns in their last 9 games. They've yet to find the end zone. They have found the end zone. It's been very rare. But 2nd and 8 here now. Indy lines up in bunch formation. Ethan Flowers might pass here. No, it's a run to the outside. It's the outside zone run with a 12 or 13-yard pickup. Chris Grant Jr. is heating up here.
Man, that's a backbreaker, right? I mean, you've got a chance to get off the field, and they just run it right at you, and that's frustrating. Yeah. But the good news for the Renegades is if you're going to run that much, you're going to shorten the game. And right now, we're 3/4 of the way through the first half. The Renegades still have the lead here, so that can't be understated.
And if they limit this to a field goal, that means they still keep the lead here. Toss play to the outside, goes for a pickup of 2 yards here. OKC, as you mentioned, Cam, it's another chance for them to get off here, 2nd and long. If they can force a 3rd and long, things might be in their favor defensively.
One of the weirdest stat lines of the season, Mark, is that Ethan Flowers has 1 completion today, 15 minutes into the game, for 62 yards. It just, what's he going to do for an encore? He's got us on pins and needles.
So that's as far as yards per average, he's going to be leading the league probably in history if this past statistic remains true. But Indy, after a pickup of 4 yards, will find themselves 3rd and 2 at the 30-yard line of OKC. So just about inside field goal range here, lining up in their heavy set. 2 tight ends, 2 backs. They're going to run here. It is a toss to the outside, but the outside tackle was there to meet him. Hello, let me introduce you. My name is Rahman Jr.
How about that, man? Rahman Jr. is having himself one heck of a first half. He chased down that touchdown, which essentially helped save the lead. Oh, now they're going for it on 4th and 1. He might just get him off the field again.
Here we go. There were blocks on the edge that were not kept, but Chris Grant Jr. kept finding enough yardage to get the first down.
Man, that's just bragging right to somebody's face. Right. I mean, Indy feels like they're the better team today. By all accounts, they are. 4th and 1. Forget it. We're going for it. We're confident we can pick up the yard, and they did just that.
I mean, it's not like OKC is struggling against their run. They've allowed, the 13-yard run by Chris Grant Jr., 14 yards by Andrew Gibson, but the average of 3.3 for Andrew Gibson, fine. Chris Grant Jr., 4.5 actually is pretty good. So They're not like struggling, but they've definitely not done well either. Here's a pass down the middle. Oh goodness me, Cam. Another pick in the red zone by India against Hokies.
Josh Vasquez with the interception, and my goodness, I mean, Oklahoma City is just continuing to come up with big play after big play, and just when you think this game is going to turn out like all the others, it just doesn't. The Renegades, might be here to stay, but they have to get back on schedule offensively, or they're just going to keep hanging their defense out to dry.
Well, Andrew Gibson and in the stats crew calling me out as part of this game, Cam. I may or may not have jinxed this team as putting Indy as the major favorites. What the OKC says? You are the major favorites? No, sirree. Stephen McMichaels wide open for the touchdown. Roll out the red carpet because it's an easy 6.
Are you kidding me? I mean, Indianapolis is getting look at that, one-on-one with a single high safety, and Evans goes for the pick and can't make it happen. Stephen McMichaels all the way into the end zone for the score. He's up over 100 today. The Renegades, can you believe it, Mark? 13-3, 134 yards for McMichaels in the first half. Indianapolis has got to be shaking their heads going, this is not happening to us right now.
Absolutely, and it's on both ends, Cam, defense and offense, as they shock you with 2 red zone picks, and then they go for a 99-yard drive in 7 plays for a touchdown, and then how about a 1-play, however many yards catch was that for another touchdown?
Meanwhile,
we might see another explosive play here by Indy. Still up on his feet, but they're going to stop him and say that at around the 44-yard line of OKC, that was Joel Harleman, actually the fullback on the return. No, not him. Bobby Tarantino, on the return.
if that would have been a fullback, I would have been really impressed. But hey, Bobby Tarantino, making things happen in the return game. He's 13th in yards this season, which isn't super impressive, but that's that'll boost his average for sure.
As far as the special teams go, 100% improving his average. Here comes Indy, lines up with 3 wide receivers. It's going to be a handoff to the left side. OKC quick to scramble and stop the run play. Only a 2-yard pickup. Vasquez again on the tackle.
Meanwhile, Mark, we are witnessing the changing of the guard perhaps in the East. Carolina has picked off Bryant Dynasty 6 times in the game, and Skippy Curtis just scored her first career touchdown. Carolina burying the Swarm 24-3. We got the better game here today.
That's true. We got the better game at least as far as storylines and expectations, being turned around on. Nobody expecting OKC up 11 against Indy. Indy, though, 3rd and 2 again here. Able to convert last time on the 4th and inches. They're just about at the same position here for another 4th down potentially. 3rd and 2, handoff, gonna run down the middle, they get it. Number 22, Chris Grant Jr., consistent running on the inside. I'm surprised they're not just giving it to him every time.
11 or 12 carries now for 53 yards. Really good half for Chris Grant Jr. as we've hit the 2-minute warning.
2 minutes ago in the first half, I'm Mark Lopez, your play-by-play commentator. With me is Cam, and we have OKC up 14-3, trying to maintain the lead going into the half, but Indy here finding themselves again in scoring range. They've found themselves here twice and have only put themselves up, or I guess technically 3 times, but only have 3 on the board. Here's a throw by Flowers, finds his man. That's once again Chris Grant Jr., this time for the 9-yard pickup after that nice catch.
He's having a banner day. He has not had a 100-yard game this season, and his season high is 84 yards, which was also the last game he had a touchdown, week 2 against the DC Dragons. So he's already on pace to top that with 62 all-purpose.
Nice running this time by Andrew Gibson, picking up a first down. So for all intents and purposes, this ground game, especially in the short down yardages or short yardage downs, has been productive. You know, the one time we saw Thomas Rahman Jr. Cam make that tackle for loss, I think they're just running opposite from Thomas Rahman Jr. Run to the outside here as they go no huddle. A little traffic jam in the middle. And they called a timeout here after a 3-yard pickup.
And I think now they're going to be kind of in that no huddle mode, right? So that's going to shorten the field for Ethan Flowers. He has the one completion to Rob Hunt and then that dump off to Chris Grant Jr. He can't throw another pick down here. Indianapolis, even if it's just a field goal, you need some points here. The home crowd is shocked.
So looking for more points to add on to the 3 points, cut this lead here. Flowers, short step back, throws to the outside. That's a touchdown. Nice pass to the outside to Rob Hunt. The only person with any reception for Indy picks up the first touchdown of the team.
That's a great play call. Rob Hunt just a little out route, throws it in between the corner and the safety. That's just textbook, Mark. And I don't think we see enough out routes in the league, quite frankly, because they can really be a chain mover for you and can stop the clock and no huddle. Talk about perfect execution down in the red zone when you need it the most. Indianapolis right back in it.
They are right back in it. It's only a 4-point game. It was a 4-point game prior to the huge drive by OKC. We'll see what they can do with 1 minute and 6 seconds to go. They have all 3 timeouts. Here's the kickoff. OKC will catch it inside the 15-yard line. Runs up all the way to 35-yard. Brought down, and that's where they're going to start in this potentially final drive of the first half. 38 yards at their 38-yard line. 62 yards to the end zone. About, let's say, 42 yards to field goal range here.
That's an important return, Mark, because it's going to get him out of the give-up zone. They're going to likely get aggressive here with a minute to go.
They are going to start throwing here. Colin Pierce finds a man. Who else but Stephen McMichael's down the middle. They're going to call their first timeout here, Cam. I think they're just going to try to dot it to Stephen McMichael's all the way.
Yeah, it's been risk reward as Dynasty just threw his 7th pick. Unbelievable. But it's been a risk reward strategy for Oklahoma City today, but it's mostly been reward. And I would press on the gas here if I was them right now. What do you got to lose?
They are going to keep stepping on the gas here. And who else? Or that's not Stephen McMichael's number 39 on the catch there. And that's going to keep the chain going. That's the fullback, Tiberius Bovine, who finds himself downfield.
2 touchdowns in his last 10 passes, averaging nearly 30 yards a completion in his last 10. Man, this is something that we weren't sure we'd see this season. Renegades right in this thing. They only have 1 timeout. They're going to stop the clock. If it's in the field again, then we'll see how well they can execute.
Here's a pass to the left. This is incomplete as Colin Pierce, I believe he was looking for number 45 is what looks like the target was. Couldn't quite catch the name there. Must have been one of the second string players, but the incompletion means the clock stops. Got a chance here at 2nd and 10. They line up with a 2 tight end set again.
Robert Royal, the tight end, was the target.
Colin Pierce with pressure on his face on the rollout. At least lets the ball go, as a sack there would have been dangerous.
Yeah, the rollouts are speeding up the clock of Colin Pierce, and he looks just a little bit uncomfortable on those because he's not getting great protection. He also may be looking for where Seth Harrison is because he's literally on that side, Mark, just making sure he doesn't take a 3rd sack.
You got such a huge man as Harrison on top of you. Here's a throw, though. That's complete. It's not for a first down, Cam, but that's going to make their field goal chances even better as they find themselves at about the 25-yard line, now the 24-yard line.
Dangerous pass, and Mark, I thought there for a moment. I I thought for a moment they were going to push him forward for that first down. That was almost a really great play. But not a bad drive for the Renegades to keep the lead and maintain momentum going into the break.
Yeah, and all things considered, good offensive drive. That is up and good and extending the lead back to 7. OKC, advantage OKC here going into the second half. We got a few more seconds left in the first half. Not sure if Indy has anything to pull out, unless we see a huge return here as they did in the previous drive game.
And this is proof. Look, Oklahoma City may not win this game today, Mark, but this is proof. You don't have to have an incredible roster. You don't have to have an incredibly high percentage of progression all season long. You don't have to have all the pieces to be competitive in the SFL, but you got to have something. And Oklahoma City clearly has put together a great game plan here today against Indianapolis, and they're giving them all they can handle.
Yeah, I 100% agree, Cam. On paper, OKC probably has half the talent of Indy as far as how many star players they have on the roster. They have half the amount of those star players, and yet they're up here. So credit goes where credit is due, and that is the coaches. And if anything, that's what they have going up there in their coaching booth has been, solid game planning. They're working with what they got here. So Indy with, half a minute to go in the first half here, looks like it's going to be right. It's going to be it for them going into the halftime show.
And look, it's not a knock on Indianapolis' coaching either. I mean, Indy has come in with a pretty solid game plan themselves. It's just that, sometimes your opponent can surprise you, and Indianapolis has a surprising fight on their hands with 20 minutes left.
And that tackle will end the first half. What a first half, as expectations have been turned around. OKC up 17-10. Did anyone have this in their bracket today? I don't think a lot of people had them ahead except for their own coaching team. What a half for OKC. What did you think about that, Kim?
Yeah, I mean, a really great half by the Renegades. They really played well. What they have done on first down, sometimes it hasn't worked, but most of the time it has. It's going to be really interesting to see how Indianapolis adjusts to that and what Oklahoma City does to sort of meet Indianapolis in the middle there. I think that the wins and losses in this game, Mark, are going to come on the Oklahoma City offensive side of the ball. If they can continue to crack the code of Indy's defense, the Ramblers could be in trouble. If they can't, I think Indy will overwhelm them with their talent the second half.
We'll be right back after a short break.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
An Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
That halftime break presented by Breaks GPT. Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Breaks GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Breaks GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Breaks GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, breaksgpt.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second half of OKC visiting Indy. OKC hunting for their first win, and Indy hanging on to dear life, trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Looks like OKC with advantage 70-10. Look at those stats comparison. They're leading in most categories. Total yards passing as well, but rushing, that's where Indy has the advantage here. They're going to start their first down of the second half with a run to the outside. That's only a gain of 2 yards. Cam, any adjustments that Indy has to make here?
I don't know that there is, especially on this side of the ball, Mark. I mean, I think that it was a a fine first half. Look, you don't have to win every game by 20. You only got to win it by 1. And Indianapolis has proven, as they just proved on that run once again, that they can run on this team.
Andrew Gibson with that nice, let's say, 6-yard pickup. And Andrew Gibson, has been taking the backseat as far as carries go, but he has been extremely productive for the season and equaling, in my opinion, Chris Grant Jr. as far as talent goes. Here they are in 3rd and 3, 3rd and short. Here's going to be a handoff trying to find the first down. Gibson, no, Chris Grant Jr. will find it. The hustle of this man to pick up extra yards after the contact.
Grant Jr. up to 16 for 67. Gibson providing 11 for 38 as Indianapolis continues to establish a ground game.
What a catch, a one-handed catch by Hunt on the first down play, 8-yard pickup. Rob Hunt now, that's his 3rd reception of the evening, up to 78 yards.
How did we not get a replay on that? That was great.
Ooh.
Hunt is the second leading receiver on the team. Denero's been really quiet. He actually is second in the league with 6 receiving touchdowns. Grant Jr. gets a first down.
Nice.
But, Denero doesn't even have a target. Hunt has all the targets, 27 for 383 so far this season.
Yeah, Dinero has none. Bobby Tarantino, at least according to statisticians, has no targets either. Nor does Jimmy Wind. Chris Red Jr. though, if you have Chris Red Jr. producing the way he has been here in the second half, I'm not surprised to just keep giving the ball to him. So 1st and 10 now in OKC side of the field for the first time in the second half. Here's Ethan Flowers, gonna hand it off. Gonna be an outside zone run. Oh goodness me! Andrew Gibson picks up 9 yards. He was wide open picking up that yardage.
Indianapolis is not going to be bullied. They are not going to radically change what they want to do today just because they're down by 7. This team looks very patient, very composed, very aware of their identity in this ball game right now, and it's a beauty to watch. Oh, nice hit.
Nice hit indeed here as Grant Jr. finds nothing. Nice tackle right there. Once again by OKC. We've seen a few of these tackles where they generate 0 yard or force 0 yards, this time by Gooden.
And every single player on this defense that's contracted is, they're performing out there. They're hitting hard. There's Jad McPherson there on that stop, but Grant Jr. gets the first down. And Mark, you love to see that, but at some point, the Renegades are going to get worn down. Indianapolis on their 9th play of the drive, and they have sucked almost half the 3rd quarter already.
And that issue of getting tired might just open up the pass play here for Flowers. He's still going to rely on the run game here. Toss to the outside will pick up 4 yards. This Grant Jr. Gibson show, this drive has just been near unstoppable. We
saw the DC Dragons last night just pummel the Queen City Corsairs up front. Kevin Say nearly rushed for 200 yards last night. It was an absolute clinic, and teams wanting to attack, maybe some defensive lines up front that are not the most talented. Shin Yaneda is a great player for Oklahoma City, but they're thin up there, and it's showing on this drive. Yet, Mark, Oklahoma City is still winning this game. There's 15 minutes left.
They are thin up front, but they are pretty talented at the backfield with those 3 quarterbacks. Thomas Raman Jr., Thomasina Raman forcing those turnovers earlier on here. This drive, though, has been the opposite story where the front has been letting through these runs.
Man, just as a lover of old school football, this is a punch in the throat right now. You got to bow up. You got to man up and get a stop here as Chris Grant Jr. gets 5. This is a test of wills right now, and Indianapolis is slowly bending Oklahoma City backwards.
There will be a breaking point. We'll see if OKC breaks this drive. There was that one drive earlier on where Indy was only limited to a field goal. OKC trying to recreate that kind of defensive prowess. 2nd and 5. Indy once again in their Joker set, lining up to run. OKC with 8 in the box. They're going to blitz down the middle. Here's the tackle. Nice coverage on the run there by Josh Vasquez.
And that's just a case of speed there, Mark, because Josh Vasquez was faster than Joel Harleman, who was trying to set up that block, but Vasquez shot in there for his 6th tackle of the night and messed it up. 3rd down and 3. Might we see Flowers pass? I don't see Hunt as the lone receiver, so this feels like a run. Nope.
It is a pass, but here comes the pressure. Drawn to the outside is complete. That catch was easy by Reggio De Niro. Had 0 targets all night, Cam. The one is for a touchdown.
He is Ethan Flowers' security blanket in the red zone. His 7th touchdown this season. And that's a levels concept of out routes. That is a really brilliant play. And honestly, not the best coverage there from Thomas and Rahman. Just an extra point away from tying the game, putting the pressure back on Oklahoma City. And for the first time, we'll get to see the Renegade offense in the second half. Has Indy, does Indy, I should say, have a solution for how Oklahoma City has attacked them vertically on early downs?
So with that 14-play, 66-yard drive, look at that game. 5 minutes and 50 seconds. That's almost a 6-minute drive. We've spent over half of this game just with that one drive as Indy ties it up. That was the kind of, back-breaking, dominating ball possession kind of drive that they were hoping for in the first half, and they've manifested it here. But OKC now here to answer back as we see their offense back here in Cam. We had the awesome first drive. I just want to say, looking back at that first half, I want to retroactively award the Breaks GPT breakaway play of the game to that 78-yard touchdown catch by Stephen McMichaels. The great breakaway play of the game brought to you by Breaks GPT, sports memorabilia breakers and collectors. You never know whose autographed helmet or jersey you might hit. Check them out at breaksgpt.com. We might see another one of those breakaway plays. Here's the first down play by Colin Pierce and company, looking for Stephen McMichaels, and he was hunting for that catch, just incomplete this time.
Yeah, there's the adjustment there from Indianapolis. They kind of dropped into a little bit of a shallow zone, making sure there's more bodies around the football in that 10 to 15-yard range. Now it's 2nd down and 10, and Oklahoma City's behind schedule.
So another pass, this time to the other tight end here, goes incomplete. So 2 back-to-back incomplete passes, and Cam, the last time they went incomplete, third time typically ended in a sack or another incompletion.
Well, and the problem is that they're not taking any time off the clock. If they don't convert this 3rd and 10, their defenses are right back out there after a 6-minute drive, and that's not good for anybody.
So Colin Pierce now, 3rd and 10, here with their 2 tight end sets, 2 wide receivers out on the field. Rolling out. Pressure's blocked. That pass is incomplete. Looks like a little overthrown as well into the defenders. Benefield deflects that out and away from the receiver's hand.
His 3rd deflection. That drive takes about 8 seconds off the clock. Worst case scenario there for Oklahoma City, it just seems like, Mark, they've just kind of abandoned their run game recently on their last couple of drives, and it was actually working pretty good for them. I don't like that trip.
They've had a grand total of 9 attempts rushing, which is surprising, Cam. 9 rushing attempts by this OKC offense. Averaging 3.7 by both Frankie Udon and Jacob Brewer. 3.7 is a respectable amount of yardage per carry. Now going back to the run, so they find their defense back on the field here. That was an 8-second drive. Well, they had only an 8-second drink. That was just enough for a quick drink. They didn't even get a chance to sit down here. Defense back on the field, 1st down. Here comes the running of Indy, a 5-yard pickup by Grant Jr. once again.
And I like what Indy's doing. Okay, if you're just going to throw 3 incompletions and give us back the football, we're not going to let off the gas. We're gonna keep pressing, and Chris Grant Jr. now has a season high 87 rushing yards.
Run to the outside is good is very good. Andrew Gibson is at the 10. Almost at the 10. Will be brought down at the 11-yard line. OKC allowing Gibson to have his way before being tackled by Rahman Jr.
But at least you're not Bryant Dynasty today, Mark. His stat line just popped up here on the screen. SFL Studios, 19 of 43, no touchdowns and 7 picks at home in a loss to Carolina that is, they're just trying to close that game out, but my goodness.
And that means Carolina's looking really good as far as their playoff hopes are.
7-4, and they're now 2.5 games in front of their division. That might be over.
Here's a run by Indy. I believe that's Chris Grant Jr. And Carolina as well. The remaining few games for them, that was a key win here for Carolina because I think they're going up against Sin City, one of their final couple of games, which is going to be a key game for both teams. And Sin City still trying to keep their hopes alive here in the league. Backing on this game, Indy. Here's Ethan Flowers looking to throw. Looks to the right side. That pass is deflected. Oh, picked again.
Nice break up there by Thomas and Rahman. And, if they force Indianapolis into a field goal, they get a chance to reset. But Ethan Flowers has been excellent down here in the red zone here on the last couple of possessions. And this is a look we haven't seen much out of them today.
The bunch set with 3 wide receivers to his right. Flowers will throw down the middle. That is complete, but that is short of the first down marker. 3 yards short. The completion to number 89, Bobby Tarantino. He picks up his first target and reception for the evening. So this drive ends in a 3-point field goal attempt here at the 22 yards away. Field goal goes left before curving back to the right. And man, Cam, those field goals that start off veering left always gives me a heart attack.
Indianapolis doesn't have the best special teams unit in the league. They're not terrible, but they honestly haven't had to be used very much. Aldmere now 8 of 9 or 9 for 10 this season on field goals. Indianapolis has been feast or famine in the red zone this season, but they have taken back the lead. Oh no!
Oh, we see a fumble here, but OKC falls down on the ball. Jackson will save this possession for them. This could have been disaster in the making for OKC.
Another heads-up play by a big-time lineman in Oklahoma City. The first one was recovered by Tam Hopkins. This one's recovered by defensive tackle Bernard Jackson. Everybody and their mama trying to step up for Oklahoma City to try to ensure them their first win of the season. I'd like to see OKC run here.
Well, they have the personnel to run to either side here with a tight end on either side. It's a pass. Colin Pierce, throw down the middle. That's complete. That's Stephen McMichaels again with a nice catch. This time the coverage giving him extra bit of cushion there, Cam.
Just like I said, Mark, I'd love to see Oklahoma City go back to the same thing they've been doing on first down the entire day. That's exactly what I said. And a nice look. They motioned McMichaels, so they did make a minor adjustment there to try to get him to the other side. Indianapolis didn't properly adjust, and they get the completion.
Same look here against the blitz by Indy as the nice in route here by one of the OKC receivers picks up a 9-yard completion. It's number 39, Tiberius Bovine, the fullback.
And not to jinx him, don't blame me if it happens, but Colin Pierce keeping a clean sheet in this game right now has been very important to Oklahoma City staying in this football game. Turnovers have plagued them this season.
Here's a run, the first run we've seen in a long time for OKC, and to your point earlier, Cam, their yardage per carry for the runs are pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah, they're last in the league coming in, averaging 1.9 yards a carry. But today, everybody's over 3 yards a carry. And right now, this offense averaging 7.3 yards per play.
Here's the catch. Oh, well, that was in the hands of McMichaels, forced out after the hit. That's going to count as a drop against him and could have had another first down in a hurry. So 2nd and 10 by OKC at about the 40-yard line of Indy here. Two tight end look. Colin Pierce once again will step back to pass, throws down the middle again. That is caught. Oh, he's still going at the 10 at the 5. He's in for 6. That is Colin Pierce's 3rd touchdown of the evening. Bacigalupi, what a man.
Who got that block down the field to spring Bacigalupi? An incredible play.
See.
Let's watch the replay again. Catch that block down. That was Bovine. Tiberius Bovine down the field, lays down a block and gets his teammate into the end zone. What a response from Oklahoma City. Colin Pierce, have yourself a day.
You. I gotta start sending fullbacks downfield, Cam, to block for Brett Killian. The way that worked out.
No.
Really
Y'all
well
don't need any more strategies. Y'all are just fine.
But that, for OKC's sake, was very impressive. You know, again, Cam, back to working what they have. The fullback and those passing sets is suddenly an extra, 5-star run blocker for the running Bacigalupi. Here's Indy with a great return, still up on his feet, as Tarantino will start at the 40-yard line. So now 2 great returns from him on his stat sheet tonight for Tarantino.
Yeah, Tarantino averaging nearly 32 yards a return. He's had a really good day. Was that a block in the back? It almost looked like a block in the back that they missed. But look, Indianapolis is fine. I mean, they are just fine. They have been moving the ball quite well on offense. 300 yards, 161 on the ground. This game is pretty even, but Indianapolis still has all the ability in the world here until Oklahoma City proves otherwise.
And at this point, probably plenty of people are going to be shocked to hear this, Cam, but it's still anyone's game. So OKC 14-point underdogs, it's still anyone's game as that. Ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the 3rd quarter. Stick around because we have a great game on hand. OKC up 4 points, but Indy in the driver's seat with this drive, trying to take the lead here, or cut the lead at least by 3 points. Indy, this is going to be their 2nd down just near the midfield here, thanks to that great return by Tarantino. Going back to their bread and butter, the Joker set with Chris Grant Jr. in the backfield. Taking their time here as wide receiver motions to the left here. Chris Grant Jr. again, wide open space, brought down there. That's Josh Vasquez once again with the tackle. Josh Vasquez tackling Chris Grant Jr. so many times from the safety position.
Vasquez playing cleanup duty, and really good job by Joel Harleman to find Pharaoh Reigns to get that block at the 2nd level. Just really good concepts by Indy in the run game today.
Chris Grant Jr. almost at the century mark, but it's a pass by Flowers here. That's complete. That's the 1st down. He finds Rob Hunt again, their most productive receiver so far tonight, not adding probably 12 yards to his number, almost 190 yards total tonight.
Indianapolis, the king of out routes in this game. I mean, look at the placement of that football. That was a beautiful throw by Ethan Flowers to ensure. I mean, that's understanding the timing with your receivers. Rob Hunt had not even turned around. That's probably Ethan Flowers' best throw of the day.
Credit to our statisticians. Just 1 yard off of tonight's stats on Rob Hunt. Here's a carry by Chris Grant Jr. once again, picking up 5. Has been very productive all night. Now up to 4.0 yards per carry. That's going to go up a bit after that one. Second and 5 now. Once again, here's the heavy set. OKC yet to have an answer for this formation and for any play that comes out here. Here's a run to the outside. Blocks once again have been stellar for this Indy blocking crew.
Whether it's Gibson or Grant Jr. back there, it's easy when you're following an offensive line that's doing such good work, and the fullback Harleman. He's not getting the carries or the yardage today, but he's making a big difference. in this offense. Oklahoma City's got to bow up. 8 minutes left. This is their moment.
Here we go. Flowers looking to throw. That's good. First and goal at the 1 yard line. That was inches away from 6 on the board, Ken.
Reggio De Niro is just unfair. This is a crazy throw. He's got everybody's running slants to the middle of the field. Boy, that's an APF callback. And De Niro, I don't know how he comes down with that in that sea of football players, but wow, what a great catch.
Red zone situation. Indy, with only 3 touchdowns on the ground, will get number 4. They put up 6. It's Andrew Gibson putting them up ahead against OKC. What a drive.
Easy as you please, and Gibson gets the score, and that's one of those rare rushing touchdowns this season, Mark. That is Gibson's first of the season, so congrats to Gibson for the score, putting the pressure back on Oklahoma City with 7:38 to go, a photo finish.
So now it's up 27-24, 7-play, 57-yard drive. One of their quicker drives, actually, relative to their other scoring drives here. But also, of course, they started at their 49-yard line. So it's a combination of special teams and offense taking advantage. OKC looking to answer here, but so far this game camp, they have answered.
Every time they've needed something, they've gotten something, and that's been kind of the opposite of their season, right? That anytime they need something, they haven't gotten it. So, maybe it's some karma working its way back around for the Renegades. They've got it all on their side right now, but there's still a lot of game left here, Mark. I think it's easy to press in this situation if you're Oklahoma City because you're desperate for a win. Don't press.
Oh, God, that rollout came. There was pressure coming. The block was not the best block, and so Colin Pierce had to let the ball go. His man not even completing his route.
Oh, dangerous situation. 2nd and 10, Mark. I don't know. Colin Pierce has 13 incompletions. I think 7 of them come out on 2nd and 10. They've got to find a play here to make this more manageable or to move the sticks. 3rd and long has been the death nail to almost every drive today.
They have motion McMichaels. And last time we saw that, he went to 20 yards. The throw's not to McMichaels, though. Looking for his other tight end, Kilgore. And Kilgore tonight, I mean, we saw his 1 catch earlier in the first quarter. Since then, 6 more targets, and none of them for completions.
Yeah, I like the play call, Mark, but it's just, you got to get Bovine, McMichaels, Bachgalupi the ball. You got to get your star players involved in these big moments.
Rushing 6 by Indy. Here's the throw. Oh my goodness. We said Kilgore had 6 straight drops or incompletions. He makes 1 to convert the 3rd down.
Just like I said, Mark, you got to keep going to Kilgore until it works. That is a hell of a throw. Look, Colin Pierce, 311 yards today, and you saw Indianapolis bringing some pressure there on that last play. Credit to Pierce to find the open receiver, whoever it was, and trust in Kilgore for a big completion. Oh,
that block. That was a great block. It would have been a sack. And this OKC's blocking, there's been some slips, but they've been holding strong for the most part.
Man, it's just speeding up his internal clock. It's been a kind of a problem all day. Credit Indianapolis for getting pressure on the ends, though, including Seth Harrison. Here he comes.
5 rushers. Oh, was that McMichaels? Oh, he bobbled it and then secured it on his hands. The middle of the field demon has been catching those balls like he's got magnets on his hands.
Are you kidding me, Mark? Are you kidding me? He bobbles this and then catches his own bobble. Oh, my goodness. Oklahoma City has fumbled twice. They've recovered both fumbles. McMichaels is catching that on a double tip. It's just bouncing their way right now, but they have to find a way to come up with points. What a nail-biter.
Here, a high-octane game, throw to the outside. Kilgore finally catches that out route pass to him, and as he falls out of bounds, that stops the clock for them a little bit too here. So 2nd and 4. OKC's offense, Colin Pierce has been finding the people he needs to find. And Kilgore, after, the drought of completion, suddenly 2 back-to-back receptions and big plays.
You got 7 on 5 to the weak side where they just motioned. Run it. They went the other way.
They are running. And they will get the first down. Frank Udon, only his 5th attempt. And that was good for about 5 or 6 yards.
Oh man, Mark.
1st and 10.
I am nervous for everyone involved.
Andrew Gibson in the stats truck letting me know that if this doesn't go their way, I might have cursed them here. Oh goodness. What a hit after the catch was made there by Tiberius Bovine. 2nd and 2. And we're expecting a run here if we can.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I'm Oklahoma City. I would shorten the game, put the pressure on Indianapolis's offense to deliver down the stretch.
Oh, the toss play to the outside, a little slow to generate any yards there, 3rd and inches. And good job on Indy covering that run. It was 3rd and 3, a toss play to the outside, and those outside defenders recovered quick.
3rd and inches. What do they come out in? You got a heavy line. You got 7 up front. Run it. If you don't get it, a field goal ties the game.
That's true. We'll see what they do here. They have 2 tight ends lined up on the right side, and they run to the left side, and that's enough for the 1st and goal.
What a run. Jacob Brewer, not called on often today or throughout the season, but he got it. That's what matters. 4:26 to go, 1st and goal. Got to be careful here. You got McMichaels and Bovine both on the left side. Pierce changing the play.
So Colin Pierce hasn't been in this position because he has just been slinging the rock for a touchdown. He's going to hand off down the middle. Oh, God. Just pushing the line as Tiberius Bovine, with that hulking body, pushes his lineman and the D lineman for 4 yards. 2nd and goal here, Cam. 4 yards to go. 3 yards to go. They're going to run to the left side. Oh, it's tackled. What a cleanup. That was number 94, Matthias Citrion, picking up his 1st tackle of the game.
This is when I would look, Bachikalupi, top of the screen. It looks like he's got a one-on-one. I would run a slant, just a quick slant right over the middle, or you got Kilgore on the left. Just something quick.
Let's see what they do here. OKC, 3rd and goal. They're going to run. It's a slant. He's going to run it. No, Colin Pierce tries to scramble, but the cleanup tackle by Indy. Once again, Citrion. The 2 times he's been called for action, he makes OKC pay.
What a stop, but the Renegades don't turn the ball over. They're able to tie the game, and their defense hasn't been great, but it's been okay because Ethan Flowers has only been called to pass 11 times, and he's thrown 2 picks. That's a heck of a drive, again, to shorten the game for the Renegades, and now we'll see if their defense can come up with a huge stop.
Well, what a game we're having today. And, this is the kind of game that I want to share to more people. And we want the SFL to reach more people. Do you? Well, the best way to do that is to smash the like button. If you're liking this close of a game, hit that smash button and leave a comment on the video. Subscribe to the channel. You can help us reach all the people who need more football in their lives. Thanks for your support of the virtual football network. Indy now on the clock here, Cam, with under 3 minutes to go. They are in potentially walk-off mode.
What do you do if you're Indy? I think you still have enough time if you want to continue to hammer the ground game. You're averaging about 4.3 yards a carry. So if you do the math, that's about what? That's about 10 plays, 40 yards, get into range, kick the field goal. I think they got enough time for that.
Let's see what OKC has to do, because Ethan Flowers is looking to pass here. Only 4 is rushing. Flowers looks to the outside. tries to find the man deep, but Rob Hunt unable to corral that catch. Didn't even look like it was near his zip code.
Yeah, it looked like Flowers had a few guys he could have hit, but overshot Rob Hunt. That was very tight coverage. I thought maybe the contact came before the ball got to the receiver. That was a close call. Oklahoma City may have caught a break there.
Here we go. It's 3 wideouts again for Flowers. Flowers, nice slant route by the opponent, or not by the opponent, by his receiver. You can't have the defense run slant routes, but Bobby Tarantino makes a nice catch, forcing 3rd and inches. Back here with their bread and butter, converting 3rd and short. With 2.5 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. OKC looking to stop this play. Run to the real outside. That is a tackle delivered to you by McPherson.
What a stop. Chris Grant Jr. and Andrew Gibson have been hurting Oklahoma City all day, and their rookie, McPherson, comes up with an unbelievable stop in the biggest of moments. And now the Renegades, with 2 minutes left, are staring win number 1 in their face. Nashville was very close to it earlier this season with Queen City. So was Oklahoma City. This could be the chance to get win number 1 since their return.
2-minute warning, folks. Don't go away. We are tied at 27-27. Upset alert as OKC. 2 minutes to go. All timeouts. They only need the field goal to walk away victors here. What are they going to do? They've almost passed in first down here out of their 2 tight end sets. Here comes a pass by Colin Pierce to the middle. He finds his man, the one, the only McMichaels.
It's the 9th time it's worked. Stephen McMichael's having an impressive game. They're just running him on a seam up the middle and testing that linebacker running with him and that safety coming up. If that single high safety is just going to sit back, McMichaels is going to deliver inside. And they're about, they don't have a star kicker, Mark, so they're about 25 yards away still.
Here comes a 5 rushing unit. McMichaels once again. That's a great catch by him under duress. Someone's going to get it, and I'm going to give it to him. The nice hands catch of the game brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in the SFL 4K23. What a catch by McMichaels, who has been on it tonight.
Oklahoma City's playing with fire, Mark, because if Indianapolis can find the play in the book to stop that, that could be a pick, and see you later. They got to be careful.
Oh, they run here in first down. The rare play call for them as first down play. Gives it to Frank Udon. Respectable decision, though. It gets them closer to the field goal. Not quite there yet, Cam.
Yeah, I love it, Mark. No turnovers today. They want to keep it that way. They don't need a touchdown to win. They need a field goal to win. I bet they run again here and then call timeout.
They need 3 yards approximately. They pass it. The rollout by Colin Pierce. Oh, goodness. Knee almost picked off.
That is, according to our stats truck, which has been very accurate today, the 7th pass deflection for Jermaine Menefield. He has been a menace all over the field. Look, this is a 50-yard field goal. I don't think it's enough, and I think even if you run it, it's not enough. I think this is up to Colin Pierce today, right now.
I think he will pass here. He has both tight ends. He has the fullback rushing. Oh, no. Oh, he choked the man. Oh, he almost got the first down, too. What a run after the catch there by Frank Udon.
I thought that stood no chance of being successful, Mark, and that may have been Udon's best play of the season, getting them in better range for a field goal. Oh, I can't watch.
Here we go for the lead. Field goal is up. The field goal is good with 22 seconds to go. OKC takes the lead. This is probably them at cloud 9 right now, Cam.
That might be the most clutch kick made by a non-contract kicker I think I've ever seen, Mark. That's a 44-yard field goal. That's incredibly difficult, and he put it through. Now Oklahoma City's defense, without their starting free safety, out of the game today, inactive, has to get a
Is
stop.
the return? Okay, the return to the 40-yard line. They got 16 seconds, Cam. They got 3 timeouts, but the return actually gives them maybe 30 yards to field goal range, just under.
Another great return today by Indianapolis' special teams. Now, the good news is they have all 3 timeouts. Ethan Flowers is 9 of 13 today, and he's hit Rob Hunt on a deep shot, a 62-yarder early in this game. So it's in there. They have the ability. Can they execute? They can throw this anywhere in the field, Mark. They have timeouts, not to worry, to try to get down and tie the game.
Quads look by Indy. 1st and 10 at their 40-yard line, 16 seconds to go. Good catch in the midfield here. They called first timeout. They were 30 yards away. If they can make 10-yard completions twice now, they should be in field goal range, Cam.
Yeah, that's a great play. And now we're looking back to Frank Udon, who had that juke and stepped out of bounds. Maybe he shouldn't have stepped out of bounds. It's giving Indianapolis an opportunity. I'd run the same thing. Call timeout.
Quads again, pass down the middle. That is good. They are now just about in field goal range with 7 seconds to go. I think they either bring up the kicking unit here. I don't see the kicker in this huddle, Cam.
I think they might. It's wow.
They
This is
run
risky,
their offense.
Mark, because if this play takes too long to develop, are they going to? They're not going to throw a Hail Mary here, right?
No.
They don't have
have
a
a timeout?
very.
They throw, it's complete. The incomplete is a blessing in disguise, Cam.
Aldmir's Mark, Aldmir's long this season is 40 yards. He may not be able to hit this. They're not bringing the kicker out. He does not have the range to hit this. Unbelievable.
Oh, so 31 yards would be a 48-yarder. Here's a pass by Flowers. The pass is, incomplete. It bounced. There was a chance for another blue uniform receiver, and he could have had a chance, and that is it. That is it. The ball game ends in an incompletion. OKC bring on the upset with a game-winning field goal with 16 seconds to go.
Kickers matter in the SFL, and you saw Oklahoma City kicked a 44-yard field goal just in range, maybe the range of Indianapolis's kickers, 46, maybe 47, but they were just outside of his range and felt like the Hail Mary had the better chance of succeeding. But this today, Mark, this is all about Oklahoma City not turning the ball over, not hurting themselves. They fumbled twice in this game. They recovered both of them. When they needed yards, Udon got the yards to get him into field goal range. This game was separated by literal just a few yards, and Oklahoma City finally able to get win number 1 this season.
And Cam, if you were to give someone the ball game, who would you give it to?
Colin Pierce, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He ran when he needed to. He kept a clean sheet. He kept his head on a swivel. It was a very tough assignment against this very good Indianapolis coverage.
Mine would be for Stephen McMichaels, 218 yards and a touchdown. But nonetheless, that is it, folks. OKC winning by 3 against Indy on the road, getting their first win, giving Indy their 7th loss of the season. Folks, thank you for joining us and hope everyone had a good time. We will see you tomorrow for more games this week. Good night and see you soon.